Deep in the lands of intrigue, in the northern Fey Run, there's a city called Obsidian Bay. On the bay of the shining sea, this city shines in its own way, with a black and dark crystal that can cut through anything. Obsidian Bay is known because it began exporting obsidian. Fires forged in volcanoes with icy crystals that could cut through dragons' hide. Obsidian Bay made a name for itself by being the kind of place that adventurers would go to, and kings wanted to conquer it, so they did. Years upon years of campaigns have now created the city of 28,000 people who now reside in this place, call it their home. There are two walls in this city. One wall on the outside keeps the people at bay that might try to make their way in. But most people know in a double-walled city that if someone were to take the city, the people just on the outside edge of the city will be the first to lose their lives. As the siege takes place, the armies fall into the first wall, over the first wall, into the second wall, and the people on the inner wall fight for survival. In this city, there are 28,000 stories. We have only a few of them. And in this city, we have one named Kane, an adventurer, who found his way to the city in a very peculiar way. Kane, what's your story?
There's a few places in Obsidian Bay where people go to where they'll find things that not everyone should be privy to, but this is where you'll find King today. On his last dime, looking for things he can't really afford at the time, getting kicked out the front door into the streets. Noticing he has nothing left to do here, he heads over to a bar known to all adventurers in Obsidian Bay, the Welcoming Lounge. As he approaches, he sees a familiar gun. Gundigan, how are you, my friend? Fine day.
Gundagoot is busy smoking a spliff and looks over at you pretty casually. He says, "Yeah, I'm doing okay. How'd that fall treat you? You looks like you got knocked prone there. I didn't see many people get knocked out of this house of the Red Sash prone. Usually they're prone inside the house of the Red Sash. What's going on?"
Well, sometimes you have less gold in your pocket.
Oh man, how much gold do you have in your pocket? Hope you got an electrum.
Not much at all, but I'm good for it, right? I kind of need a drink after that.
Yeah, you should kind of need a short rest. But we got this good berry mead, and it gets you what you need when you need it. But what you gonna do after that, Kane?
I don't know, man. I'll figure that out then.
Tell you what,
I
Kane.
always do.
Let me get you that beer. Since it's on me, sit down and have a talk. I've been meaning to talk to you for a while.
Comes this on you, of course.
Exactly. With that, Gundagoot swings wide the door of the welcome wench and invites his friend now, Kane, inside. Oh, there's so many things to put on the GM layer, the GM says.
Kane looks around the room, spots a More or less good looking lady and winks as he walks. Seem way more charismatic in his head than he is his drunken state. Heads over
And
to the table and something. Yeah.
sounds good. Sounds good. Let me get something set up for you because I keep finding myself opening up your old character sheet. But I guess it doesn't matter. Gundagoot's going to offer you a seat that you're pretty used to.
Yeah. He takes a seat. Anxiously waits his drink.
Oh, he doesn't wait long. So he is waiting a little bit because the dungeon master is busy dungeoning stuff. And with that, we transfer it into the welcome wench. Oh, shoot. Let me turn on that. As the dungeon master turns back on the dynamic lighting. So we can't see all the stuff we're not supposed to see. How dramatic.
Très romantique.
So dramatic. So yeah, Gundagoot does something most people don't see him do. He pulls up a seat right across from Kane and hands him and slides him over a tankard of Goodberry mead. What's up, boo? Says, Kane, how long you been in this city now?
As Kane puts on the drink, which he's drank most of it already, he says, I don't know, man. It's been 13 years since I've been here.
He says, I understand you elves
What about it?
have probably about 100 years worth of adolescence to work through. Because you live so damn long. But us humans, man, we don't have that much time. You live like you got all the time in the world to spare, don't you?
You talking to me about the time of humans in this earth, Gundagoot? Do you know how I got to this city?
Well, Gundagoot says to Kane, I'd love to hear about it.
I was stolen from my parents, who were killed just for the simple fact of loving each other. Cursed to live in the Underdark. Have you ever heard of the Underdark?
He nods.
You know this place. It's not somewhere you want to be born. Especially not being born the way I was. Skin, the spell skin, who to them is an insult. But still, I, Kane, made the best of it. Like I always do. I became the best warrior of my house. But that wasn't enough. Once another house killed everyone there, they threw me in the tunnels. Where monstrosities and things you wouldn't even imagine in your worst nightmares. But still, that wasn't enough to take me down. I came out on the other side stronger. And I made this place my home. This city. Everything I know. And that's when I met her. The only good thing that's ever come my way. But life took her away from me. This time on earth that you speak of that humans have, I know it well. And I know it better than most of you. You're here. You go. You don't suffer. I stay behind. And the only person I've ever loved, taken away from me. You know, she taught me everything. But most importantly, how to love. And that love died with her. So don't tell me how to live. I'll be just fine.
How many children have you put in the ground, Kane? You want to tell me about love? How long do you think I've run this inn for? Do you have any idea how many adventures I've taken under my wing? How many of the children do you think I've seen come out of the Carrying Cudgel over there, passing through the Poorman's Guild, finding their way into adventure? coming into myself and Hester the village elder as children of ours. You know, we've got 4 children that are level 20, masters of their form. But I've had to put 6 children in the ground, Kane. Do you think that gives me something? Do you think that gives me pride? Do you think I want to brag about that issue? I remember how each one of them died. The first time I tried to fight, I took up arms and I fought against the demon that killed him. The second, the third, the fourth. Do you think it did any good? All I can do is sit here and watch these kids come through my doors. And you might be 100 years old, but Kane, you're a kid to me. You're just squishy.
So you understand, Gunny. What's the point of it all? Why take everything so serious if it's all gonna be pain at the end?
It's
The more
pain
you
all the
love,
way
the
through.
more you take care of, the more you lose.
But you can serve something in the middle, man. You can have said your life meant something to those who you touch. And you know, you're pretty roguish. I get it. I see where you're going. But you're never going to grow in power. You're never going to gain agency in this world until you find a way to level up in this thing. You've got to grow, Kane. This thing you're doing here, you're spinning in a circle, man. You could be where you're at right now for the rest of your life and die content. But you think that makes me happy? That's not enough for me, man.
I can see where someone has been through so much is coming from. But trust me, the way I feel, the way I felt, I'm going away. But I appreciate everything you've done, and like always, I'm here. Any job you got, take it.
Well, Kane, you've got a beautiful backstory. But you can't spend your life chained to that. It's beautiful to be in love. It's noble. It's the best thing in life to be. You don't have to tell me about being in love. But do you want to grow? That's what I want to know. Or are you content?
He looks at Nicholas intently, thinking to himself what the answer is, trying to look inside of him. Is he content? Has he been content ever since the past of his living? Can he ever be content again? Can he ever be happy? This question shakes him down and thinks, maybe with a little bit more cynicism as he should. He's not happy now. Might as well try something different. All right, Gundigu, what you got? You talk about this leveling up. You talk about this growing. So what? What is there to grow in this city? Have you seen the city? The city's rotting from the inside. What part could I play?
You can
Am
play
I
it.
not part of that rot?
Well, as long as you make a choice, Kane. As long as you can choose between rotting, just like that guy sitting on that pole out there, or you can grow. And if you got it in you to grow, Kane, I can take you there. Go ahead and drink that beer. Think about what we said right now. I'll get to work. I'll point you in the right direction. But I'm just going to give you a push. I'm just going to give you a simple hook. If you can take it and do something with it, we'll see where you can go, man. But
He lifts up his cup and says, I'll be waiting.
all right.
And drinks it.
Gundigood says, you know me. I'll be here. And he steps off. And as we said, we promised, there are 28,000 stories in the city of Obsidian Bay. And that's just one of them. So, fellows, who's next? I see a new token on the field. Who's this new token belong to?
That little guy?
This little guy right here.
I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
What's he got going on? What's his name? Is this Leland
Well, that's
Winterfell?
Leland Winterfell, the half-elf bard.
All right. Well, let's hear his story.
Okay. Well, he is the son of a human famous performer from the northern, like, not here, because no one would know his name here, but the great Mesmodius.
Mm-hmm. So
And
he's not from
his
Obsidian
mother
Bay?
was a. Oh no, he's kind of an outsider. Like he's from the Moonwood area,
Okay.
like originally. That's where he's born and raised. But
Okay.
say I just dragged him on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, so he's his father was the great Mesmodius, a famous performer who was well
great.
known for his prestidigitation and my sorry, I can't think of it.
Take your time.
Hypnotism.
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 Ah.
Okay. Mesmodo.
Wow.
Mesmodius.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he was that. So, and he was a great performer.
Mm-hmm.
Huge crowds, sold out everything. And then his mother was actually a Moonwood elf who was a high-ranking soldier that could afford the tickets.
Okay.
And they met, fall in love. Things happen, like they do with famous performers. 9 months later, Leland comes about. And, yeah. So he's got the talents of a performer, but his mother kind of trained him a little bit with weapons and stuff, but eventually, I'm sorry, I hadn't had a lot of time to flesh this out.
Take your time. Grow it. Let's do it right now. We can workshop some things. What you got?
Okay, well, mostly, okay, so there's the performer dad, could be mom.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the performance stuff going on, and then, so after he was born, they were together for a little while. Dad wanted him to be a performer. He didn't want him to go out and get hurt. Mom wanted him to be able to defend himself, and eventually Dad's career took him away. So he got a little bit of both of those. And he did pretty good for himself for a while. He held his own. He had his own little performance thing going in his young adulthood.
Mm-hmm. So his mom was a bit of a groupie then? Is that a thing we can go with?
More or less.
Okay,
That's kind of
okay.
how he came about.
Yeah.
So
His dad's super famous, superstar, super
yeah.
gregarious. Yeah, good. But his mom and dad, are they still around? Have you found a way to murder them off, or are they still kicking?
No, they're both very much around.
Okay.
And I will drop names as the game proceeds.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sweet.
obviously they're famous where I'm from, but I don't know about down here south.
Mm-hmm. No, I love to have NPCs thrown at me, so yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry, I'll let you. Anyways, so I'm literally going off 5 lines of scribble on a piece of paper here.
But you've had enough time. So, you've had enough time with us to know how this rolls, and this is your first time at this rodeo. Let's have some fun with your story. So go ahead, tell us some quirky details, and give us something that he's yearning for. What causes him to make the grand adventure to come to this huge city, this New York City of the day, Obsidian Bay?
So he was doing pretty good for himself, getting gigs and stuff, performing and all that. And then one day he even had a chance to perform in front of the, I want to say it's Lady Alhana of Moonwood or whatever, like the Queen of Moonwood, with a bunch of other performers. And he was super stoked, went in there and did it, but he got outperformed by another, by actually a full-blooded elf. I'm only half elf.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of stole my thunder. So now, they kind of set me back. I listened to her routine and stuff and realized that she had been out and experienced a lot more than me. So I needed to go out and create some stories of my own. And so I ventured forth on a quest of vengeance.
Epic, epic. Sounds like a
I
fun
was
thing
going
to
to
do.
come back with better stories and more, levels of experience because, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be out adventuring while she's singing about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to come back and crush her.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. That sounds like a hook. I'm hooked. Let's see
Yeah.
this happen. So,
But not in battle, but like in
oh,
public
of course, in performance. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm hooked for
I
that.
got to put a better show up than she will ever will.
Oh, there's so many things to do with rolling dice than there is just to smash things with your sword. I'm
I was
totally.
going to say,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
you sure you're not just building a team of adventurers to go and get your revenge on her?
No one ever put that out of the realm of possibility. I mean,
Sounds good. Sounds good.
he's a bastard child of two different races out for revenge against the girl that made him look bad, more or less.
All right.
But, he's not evil.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a fine thing to yearn for, and it's definitely a hook that could lead you to being evil. But at this point right now, he's not that evil, is he? He's just a guy who's angry at a girl, and now has taken that opportunity to head off to a city seeking grand adventure because obviously the city he's in isn't grand enough for him to become any greater than where he's at. Um, it's up to you, Chris. We were trying to spin everything together. If you want to hurry up and make something, do you have a plan, Chris?
I still have that character Kashi that I never really made.
Okay. Yeah, we could send 4 little
I mean,
squishies into the goblin hole. Yeah, if you want to do
all
that.
right.
Yeah, you know what's at stake.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I still have his backstory ready and everything, so I just need a character sheet so I can plug everything in.
Okay, I'll make you up one. We still have someone else to go before you, so you got time to do that if you rush. KSHIE. Wait, I thought you already had him in another game.
Remember, I scrapped him and decided to just make evil Chris.
Okay, cool. All right, then I can't go get him then. No problem. We got you in. And yeah, you've got a character sheet for Kashi. He's ready to roll. Do your thing. So, Leland Winterfell, you have now made your way the long, long journey to Obsidian Bay. Where do you place yourself? I'm going to switch the map back over to the map of the Northern Faerun to see where you see yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. Where do you imagine yourself starting out? How long of a journey? How much cost was involved? Who paid for it? Little things like that. If there's any little details we can try to role play, I'm a sucker for that shit.
Oh, okay. Well, I would like to think that Mom had hush money from Dad. Since he bailed and all, was famous.
Okay. Where do you think he's at?
But I don't think. Well, where's the moon? I thought it was up north.
Yeah. This doesn't have all the little details. It's kind of like a big speck. Here, let me grab another map. If you're up north.
Yeah. So where's Obsidian? I thought Obsidian Bay was southish.
Well, here's Obsidian Bay right here. Hold on, let me find it for you so you can see it. It's underneath what would be the hilt of the Sword Coast. Near the shining sea. You see the Sword Coast, and there's the hilt. We're on the handle of it, if you will. Yeah, there you go. Whoa, that moved the map a lot on my. Yeah, there we go. Zach is showing up in the middle of a recording. My college has no Wi-Fi. That's weird. That is a really weird thing for a school not to have. So yes, we are right there, and you are free to choose anything you want. Let me move you over so you can maybe look at a more detailed map of the Sword Coast itself. This is Both of these actually from the Sword
Yeah,
Coast
I was
Adventures
gonna say, I
guide.
thought the
Mm-hmm.
Midward's up like
Yeah.
north-ish, but I might be thinking of it wrong.
There's a lot of things here on this one. This has everything, really well placed and really well thought out. I'm getting ready to break it really hard as I refactor a bunch of missions in order to put things around where we're at, which is not actually on this map, which I'm really happy for, because I'd much rather focus our energies south of here. It's cold up there. I don't want to go where the cold is. Am I right? Am I wrong for not wanting to be where the cold stuff is? So yeah, what do
No,
you think?
horrible things happen in the north. Like
Yeah,
it's
super cold. They say never winter when it's
giants,
always freaking winter.
orcs,
Yeah, what kind of
ice
lie
dragons,
is that? Yeah. Let's go down here where there's like
herpes.
herpes. Hello.
Wait, sorry, wrong.
You said that out loud. Yeah, you did. You totally said that out loud. So yeah, what do you see?
And it's recorded.
It's recorded.
Yeah, cool.
What do you think?
ladies.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, he's from the. He's okay. So just say Silvery Moon.
Silvery
Like,
Moon.
so
Where's
that's
that?
yeah, upper north.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
way
So
north. Yeah.
that's quite a. Oh, I see Silvery Moon right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite
I'll
a
move
journey.
there,
That's like 2,000 miles. So
and I'm broke.
well, it's we could come up with lots of reasons why you'd make such a journey. You'd have to go over the Evermoors, the Sword Mountains, and the Mirror
You know
of
what?
Dead Men.
Well,
Water Deep. You'd probably go to Water Deep and take a boat, maybe.
or
Mhm.
oh, there are no ports up that far north. I couldn't have caught a just a ship from like Neverwinter down to.
Oh, well, if you want to go up to Neverwinter,
or
you could
more-
do that. Yeah, you could go straight across to
Wait.
Neverwinter.
Never catch a boat from Neverwinter.
I just
all the
put
way
you.
down to
I put
Baldur's
you on the.
Gate
I
or
put you
something.
down to the long road and had you go down to Waterdeep. Baldur's Gate.
Okay. Oh, it's not a port city, is it? Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid river city.
Yeah, it's a fine river city. Yeah, you could go to Baldur's Gate and then take the road from there through the Cloud Peaks, and then, because if you were to take a boat, you have to go around this hilt thing to go all the way down to where we're at. But yeah. You could, and we could even say you. I'd love to say you found a troupe of traveling musicians that you traveled with. I think that'd be fun to do because that's
Sweet.
quite a
Drum
journey.
circles every night.
Yeah, party it on, man. Party on. And yeah, and that would get you easier access inside Obsidian Bay, so you don't have to show up as some weird lone stranger. You've got some people, but I think the allure for you in Obsidian Bay is this adventurer's quarter. I think there's
Yeah, that's where all the big tips are going to be, man.
sure. Well,
Rich folk don't
adventures.
want to watch us street performers.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have seen the path of the street performer over and over and over again. Let's just put it there. And what you found is that you could keep doing this nonsense over and over and over again, and you kind of had it with that because it's just going to be the same old story, singing the same old song and dance. You want to go for adventure. You want to go fight some shit. Because the only thing that you have to lead you is this path that your father went on, which is knocking up some girl and then leaving her lonely. And you're wanting something greater, aren't you?
Absolutely. I need better stories for my performances.
Exactly.
I need to
Yep.
not only sing about more epic things than she does, but I also need to have done them, which makes it way cooler.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's a thing to yearn for. That's something you could totally want. And I'd like to put your traveling troupe in the middle of Adventure's Quarter.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, yeah. In the middle of Adventure's Quarter. And with that, I will move us over to Adventure's Quarter. And at that moment, you find yourself, after doing a performance with your little troupe, singing and dancing, working for coin, working the crowd for a little more coin, being a performer, you are, you were just absolutely performered out. You spend the whole entire night doing your little performances. And early one morning, you get up before everybody else does because they're all still just sleeping in like they always do. And you're hungry, man. You are hungry for something more than just simply singing and dancing and that kind of nonsense. And you look around this square, and you look across to one side of the square, over on this side. You see a man on a pike. He's sitting there, looking disastrous. There's a pike that's like a telephone pole, shoved inside of him, all the way from one end to the other, his chin. And you're up early enough where you wake up and you see this haggard old cleric walking out with a group of soldiers from the city militia, the city guard, walking out, and she puts her hands on him and just touches him, and his body shakes, and you realize he's alive, sitting on that pole, and she's just barely putting enough energy into him to keep him alive. And the guards look at him and and scoff, and they walk off, keeping this thing alive like a monstrosity. What do you think about that?
Probably shell shocked a little bit. Like, what the? I'm just gonna smile, nod, and back away slowly.
Yeah, I mean, you're still like 300 feet away from it. You didn't notice it while you guys were doing your performance, having fun. I mean, you had this like ideal that this is a nice, jovial, happy city, but now you see something that is just an absolutely obscene act of brutality on display as some fucked up piece of street art, something that Banksy wouldn't do. And there it is for you to look at. And you look across the street, and the only person that's up at this morning seems to be this man outside the front of his inn, smoking a spliff, taking in the scene, and taking in the scene. And he's doesn't seem to give a shit. And he looks over at you, and he's smoking a spliff. What do you do?
Oh, he's got a pub behind him, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's standing on the front of it like he owns the place. It's pretty clear. He's not. Cool. He's not like some guy just hanging out by it. He's standing out like it's his property. You know the pose.
Yep. Been to plenty of taverns on the road. Well, 2 or 3. But so I'm just gonna go ahead and waltz right on up. Ask him, how you doing? Are you the purveyor of this establishment?
I sure am. How's the song and dance going for you, kid?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Doesn't give you a lot of chance to use that rapier, does it?
Oh, that's there for protection, of course. What needs protection while performing in the wilds? It's been a long road.
Oh yeah? Tell me the last time.
And a long sail.
Tell me the last time you used it. Besides training.
Oh God, I can't remember.
Yeah, but I bet your song and dance.
Quite some time ago. Fortunately, right? Though I mean.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know how to use it, but I am trained to entertain, not kill.
I can see that. That's a fancy line of work you got there. You making a lot of coin there?
No, so far.
Yeah, lots of EP in that, huh?
What's that?
Electrum pieces. They're half a gold piece. He's mocking you.
Oh, okay. I make ends meet, but do I hear music going on behind him?
No. There's no music. It's early in the morning. No one's being entertained.
Why? Okay.
Yep. Music has to be really intentional these days. We don't have just like random things making music for no reason.
Full starving performers.
Yeah, they could be.
So I proposition them. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, well, me and the troop are, we're on a break, but for a couple gold, we wouldn't mind providing a little background music for your patrons.
A couple gold, you say? Yeah. I'm looking for a bard, kid. What do you got?
Well, got a drum, I've got a lute, and I've got a flute. I can't play them all at the same time.
How vicious is your mockery? Is it enough to get me battlefield advantage?
I don't know. I'm so new to this class. So.
Well then you're not a bard then, kid.
Well, what are you getting at? I mean, I'd like to make a coin, but
yeah.
You don't want performers in your
Oh,
plates
yeah.
because
We got lots
it sounds
of-
really boring in there.
Oh, we got hungry people inside. They don't give a shit about food, about money, about music when they're hungry. Look at your
but
character
what about
sheet.
inspiring music.
Listen, look at your character sheet and think of what I just said to you. How vicious is your mockery, kid?
Yay, vicious.
What are you doing? That's not an attack roll. You got your vicious mockery broke. Let me fix that for you.
I was rushing through it, man.
I know, man. You got to take it easy. All right, it's attack with charisma. Just saving throw with against wisdom against your DC, your spell save DC, which is vicious mockery is a no damage. Yeah, no damage, no disadvantage.
Oh, vicious mockery.
Yeah, is it enough to give me battlefield advantage? Ah, damn it! I was editing your shit. Hold on.
There it is.
No, here it is. That's how you roll vicious mockery. And your spell save DC is 13. So, yeah, but you're gonna have to give him a mockery. You're gonna have to mock him in some way if you want to like impress him.
But where's his picture again? I gotta have something to work with here.
Really? You think?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I had to mock the dude.
You got a lot of people you can mock. You could mock that guy on that fucking pole looking like a fucking you could mock this kid right here. Out here playing with his flying monkey. There's a kid outside playing with his monkey. He's a little mage. He's probably not shit. You could probably kick his ass in a minute, right? Go ahead, try it.
All right, so there's a kid out there with a monkey.
Yeah, he's playing with his flying monkey. Stop running away from me. I want to play with my monkey. Get over here. No, let me play with my monkey. You're my monkey. Get over here, monkey. I'm going to play with you right. I'm going to play with you all night, every day. I just want to play with my monkey. That's all I want to do. How's your vicious mockery feeling?
Which one's the pet?
Well, it depends how much of a pedophile you are.
That's my vicious mockery. Like, which one of those two is the pet?
Oh, snap, yo. All right. And Gundigoot laughs. That's he says it depends on how much of a pedophile you are. And Oscar rolls a... Well, Oscar didn't hear you, so he doesn't actually get the vicious mockery. He just happens to be more than 60 feet away. But Gundigoot notices the fey magic that is imbibed inside of your mockery and what could make it vicious. And he goes, you could do something with that, right? You want to chase these guys around all over the fey run? Or are you going to like get serious and actually do something with your life?
Oh, well, I usually use it to stop hecklers, but you can do other stuff with it.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
Yeah, I
battlefield.
knew that.
Giving something battlefield disadvantage is a pretty powerful thing. If you know, you can put a stick in their spokes for sure.
What are these spokes you speak of?
He sees a wagon rolling by. He's like, that thing right there. You want to stop it? Throw a stick in its spokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you
Oh,
do
sorry,
it.
I'm not.
Ah, need to watch more films, kid. You know what a film is? Ah, don't worry about it. I'm super meta. And with that, he says, "Are you hungry? You look hungry."
Well, yes. Yeah, always. Who isn't? I mean, come on. All that juggling and playing instruments and acting. Yeah, it gets
Oh, I could imagine. I could
develops a
only
appetite.
all that acting. He says, "I could only imagine." And he opens the door. Time for a wake-up call. He opens up the door to the welcome wench and shoves you inside and shoves you towards a table that you hungrily accept. And with that, you find yourself seated with a man named Kane. And Gundagoot is busy wrestling up Larissa to bring her some briskets and gravy. And you hear him in the back like, "Hey, Thorgath! Thorgath! Can you get us some biscuits and gravy? Hey, Thorgath, can you get us some biscuits and gravy? Extra gravy, man. Extra. Make sure you put some extra good berries on it, okay?"
Thorgath cook.
Yeah. And that mystery sauce. That mystery sauce is a hit, man. They love that shit. The ladies are loving it. The men don't know how to deal with it. They're feeling intimidated. But
didn't tell him where he goes.
Yeah, Thorgath, don't worry about those men that are intimidated by you, man. Just keep doing you, boo. All right, there's Thorgath. Where you going, Thorgath? What's going on? Gundagoot.
I don't know.
Cares. Yeah, you're
You didn't tell him where to go.
Cooking food is where you go. You go back in the back and cook food. He just wanted to hear your voice. So, Leland, you find yourself seated at a table, and Larissa is bringing over some good berry mead and some biscuits and gravy, and Kane just happens to be sitting there at the table that Gundagoot seated you at. He had just had a conversation with Gundagoot, and before you knew it, you walked in.
Hey, kid. Going.
Hello.
New in town? Haven't seen you around.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm quite new.
He looks over at Larissa and says, he points at the drink. I'm 2 up. Motioning to bring another drink. So what brings you to town?
Well, I'm traveling with performers, you see.
Yeah, where would they be?
Outside. I don't believe the proprietor invited them in.
Traveling performers. Come to the big city to make a name for yourself?
I suppose so. And make some money. For me, of course. But
Isn't that why
I do
everybody's saying?
fancy being an adventurer of sorts, if I could. Nothing too serious. I don't want to lose a limb or an eye,
That Gundagoot.
but something to
Yeah.
write a song about.
Okay, so you can sing, but fight. Ever been in a fight?
Oh, I've trained quite a bit with my mother.
So mommy taught you how
She
to
was
fight?
a fierce warrior, I'll have you know. Captain of the guard.
Oh, great, a guard. Well, Gundagoot seems to have some plans for us, or else you wouldn't trust me. He got something off his sleeve. So adventures with your friend. I'm looking to make some money. I might have some contacts. Maybe gonna know something we can do. You gotta eat, right?
I try to stop stuffing my face with the free food, right? For a second. Yes, yes. Absolutely. I am also looking for experiences to help me with my epic tales and songwriting. I need that, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, sure, kid.
But once again, you know, I don't want to get disfigured. It's very important. You can't perform with half a face.
Oh, I want to say that's up to you. Better use what mommy taught you.
Yes, of course. Again, elite captain of the guard.
Yeah. I'm sure she was a fierce warrior. We'll see about you, though. You guys ever anywhere in the city you're planning to? Some pretty good places. These kind of things, you know.
Just barely got into town maybe a couple days ago, so haven't formed too many plans yet.
Enjoy your meal, friend. Enjoy that drink. Probably be the only free thing you get in this city.
So is he just staring at me while I eat?
No, he's waiting for his drink. He keeps looking back towards the bar, waiting for his drink that he ordered.
He's got his drink.
She brought it
Oh
back.
no,
Yeah, he's got his drink.
I'm taking everything that's given to me.
Yeah, Kane's got his drink. The drinks don't. You don't have to wait for the GM to tell you got your drink. You got your drink. Every time Larissa shows up, she shows up with all the stuff you need. You got a drink.
Yeah, but I don't have money to pay for it.
Yeah, no.
Gundagoon knows it.
Indigo knows that. He makes you look like you belong there. He doesn't leave you lonely.
He's just drinking and
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Yeah, Gundagoon's busy working behind the scenes as he is and as he does.
Kane is really in his head right now, and you can just like.
This is probably the best meal I've had in weeks since we've entered this city and had a sophisticated meal, not just a bunch of gypsy toilet wine and rabbits.
Hey, rabbits.
Yeah. Rabbits aren't that great if you don't have a lot of seasoning.
Mm-hmm. But they're better than squirrels, though.
Oh. Yeah. Good point.
Shinzo. All right. So with that, we have two people that might be on the path to adventure. Who else do we have out there that might be on the path to adventure?
Hello.
Hello. Who this?
Vegemite.
This
Yeah.
be Felix Darkwood.
Oh, Felix Darkwood. So dark, that wood of Felix.
Heyo.
Hey ho, someone noticed. And with that, Felix, where are you? Do you have a token? Ready to go on the screen? Are you ready to tell your story? Your lovely story. Let's hear your story then, Felix Darkwood.
I grew up with my parents in the great forests of Darkwood. It was a grim, haunted place where you had to learn quick to survive. My first memories are of hiding in trees to avoid being spotted by roaming zombies and skeletons, and hunting direwolves and quivering in fear because of the many monsters around my home. I lived like this for my entire childhood till I was 22, when my parents were found and captured by an arch lynch, them crying for me to go get help and purge the forest of the curses and darkness that swallow it. So I have set off to gain strength and much skill, while hoping to find a group of adventurers to help me in my quest to rid my forests of the evils haunting it.
Lovely story. Lovely story. Does that suck?
Oh yeah, and I've been
Oh.
searching around for places to people, and I heard of Obsidian Bay, so I've decided to come here
Okay.
to
Lovely.
become more skillful and stuff.
Let's have a look. I'm going to pop back out to the grander scheme of things. Let's go out to the northern Faerun again. And let's have a look about and see where maybe you might be hailing us from in the grand scheme of things. Where do you think you are? There's this dark wood that you speak of.
Honestly, this is the largest map that you've ever shown me, so
Okay. But you've been to Chult, though, right?
yes.
Here's Chult down here. Chult is way down here. Yeah, there it is. That's Chult. The lands of intrigue, the shining sea. This little speck down here. This is Obsidian Bay. But if you have any ideas of where you might have come from, you can go ahead and
Maybe
place
the
it.
unapproachable east. That sounds like a sort of.
Ooh, the unapproachable east in the inner sea. So yeah, you'd have to cross the inner sea. It's a huge thing, right? To cross it, you have to cross it at its longest length almost, and enter the heartlands, and then from there into the lands of intrigue. So you've had quite an adventure to get to here, but here you are finally. You've heard stories about. You're wanting to grow in power, right? And the only way to do that is to find some place that can give you that kind of power. And here you are, approaching Obsidian Bay, and as such, you are on the gates of Obsidian Bay, bidding your way of entry. And as you do, Felix Darkwood, we are going to give you a fun time with all the excitement that you deserve as a fighter, a stout halfling fighter. Very tough, but also little guy, right?
Yeah.
And as you approach the guards, as you've made this huge long journey, seeing this city way off in the distance, getting closer and closer and closer, and now as you've now found your way right to the edge of Oz, this beautiful, lovely city greets you with what is this, man? You're a little big for that sword. You're a little short for that sword, aren't you? Look at this little guy. Oh yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think he can pick that thing. Can you actually take that sword out of its scabbard? Because if you can, don't do it. Because you don't want to pull the sword out of the scabbard. But honestly, I don't think he can take it out of the scabbard. Yeah, don't have much to worry about here. This guy doesn't look like much trouble at all. Oh, man, he's little. Yeah, he sure is. But, he's kind of big for a halfling. Yeah, he might be. What do you say to that?
Better to keep your mouth shut and have everyone think you a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt, I say as I try to nimbly dodge inside.
Oh, you're going to dodge past the guards. All right, well, and with that, the guards show you how flanking works, and they jump on both sides of you and stop you from entering. And, whoa, wait, hey, where are you going, kid? Yo, you're not a kid. You're probably fully grown. Yeah, he's fully grown, all right. And they stop you. What do you do?
Can I use an acrobatics check to dodge inside?
Yeah, dude, give me an acrobatics check. Let's see what happens. With disadvantage.
Okay. 11 and 19, so probably don't succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll roll it against their acrobatics check at advantage.
Inspiration.
You're wishing you had a bard right now. And these guys.
Yeah, nah, that doesn't work.
These guys snatch you up by the collar, basically, and I'll give him a strength check in addition. Oh, athletics. Yeah, here I'll give him an athletics check in addition. Oh wait, one's trying. Oh wait, sorry. Another athletics check. Yeah, the strength check is good. He lifts you up. He's like, hey. We got rules in this city, man. You know? Some of the rules we follow, some of the rules we don't. Do you understand how that works? He looks you dead in the eyes.
I do. How much trouble will I get in if I actually try and take them down?
I mean, go for it. We got lawyers. Get a lawyer. It's fine. Go ahead. Attack him.
Okay.
I mean,
This
how
is
tough
probably
could
going to
they?
end horribly.
How tough?
I
could
grab
they,
one
how
of my
tough
arrows
could they be?
quickly and jam it into his eye.
Oh my god! Hey, roll me an improvised weapon attack. Roll a d20 and just see what you do. And roll again for disadvantage. That's what I was waiting for. So he nimbly busts you across the face as you do that. Yeah.
Shit.
He's quick to and he gets 2 attacks per round. Both of them do. And he can drop his longsword on you twice. Oh, and he can also make a short sword attack because he's he's been trained in that. So he's like level 5. That's what he could do to you. But he basically puts you on the ground, throttles you onto the ground, and yeah, let's have a look at your backstory. Let me take a look at your backstory real quick. Let me look at that real quick.
I offer him 10 gold to let me go and apologize.
How much gold do you have?
I have 15.
Yeah. All right.
So I can't afford a bribe, a large bribe.
Yeah. But that old arrow to the eyeball thing. But 10 gold is pretty good. They look at each other and like, how much? And they take your purse from you. Like, he's got 5 gold left. He's got to spend some money in town, doesn't he? God damn it! All right, so they took a look at you and they just they basically punt you inside the gates, and take your 10 gold. Take it off your character sheet, and you got 5 gold left, and you feel lucky to be alive. And
I now know not to mess with the guard.
What did you think we're doing here? Awesome. So someone has to learn the hard way, and you didn't get to meet the city public defender, but some people do get to meet the public defender, and that's super awesome. Hey, Jake, you want to be in the box now, don't you? But yeah, you made it inside the city. You feel really lucky, and you look around the city, and it's an amazing city. You're used to these small little towns, right? Really quaint little communities.
Yeah.
People have
Tiny
outhouses.
villages.
People have outhouses there. Have you ever heard the story?
I'm disgusted by the smell.
Oh, of the city? Of the outhouses?
Yeah. I'm used to the country, so I'm not used to the smell of the city.
Oh, it is. And you kind of wonder where that smell came from, right? I mean, it's kind of weird as you're exploring about the city and you're seeing what it's all about. And and there's got to be something to do with why the city smells like it does. Have you heard of the term "a pot to piss in"?
No, shit. Yeah.
Well, it's actually a thing. They used to have a pot to piss in, and if you had a pot to piss in, you pissed in it. And you know what you did after you pissed in it? You chucked it out the window. He chucks it out the window. So some dude on the second floor just unerringly just chucks his pot to piss in out the window and goes, "Oh, sorry." About the time you hear, "Oh, sorry," you see piss coming at you, and roll me a dex check. Nimbly, you jump out of the way. Thankfully, with that +4, well, you'd have gotten it anyway, but, I didn't make it that tough. It's still definitely good to have that you danced all the way out of the way of the pot to piss in, and you realize that in this street, it's definitely a bad place because someone could invoke the scatological at any moment, and you could find yourself dodging past a pot to piss in, and you just did. And with that, you find yourself in the city, zoomed in a little closer inside inside the Adventurer's Gate, not beyond Poorman's Gate. But yeah, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What guided you to the city in the first place? The last image I had, there was a whole bunch of places you could look at, but what do you want to do now?
I just heard that the city had many adventurers of great skill, so I wish to find and join them, hopefully.
Good. If you're seeking adventure, then you're wanting to go to Adventurer's Quarter, and it's straight up that blue road that you see ahead of you right here. So go ahead and adventure away. Inside the city, you see lots and lots of things. There's the Inn of the Welcome Wench, is a place that you know of, you've heard of. There's a woodcutter as you walk by. You see a leather worker. There's a blacksmith, a village hall. You see a weaver, a tailor. This is like something out of a Disney film, And a village hall, weaver, tailor, jeweler and money changer, a cabinet maker, a potter, a brewer, a temple of Palo, a trading post, a teamster, a dairy, a miller, a village elder somewhere, and a wheel and wainwright, a carpenter, a stonemason. There's a tower of Rufus and Byrne right off to your left there. Oh my God, Tower of Rufus and Byrne, how sweet. They must be such good buddies. And a shrine of Avandar. So go ahead. Right now you're right by the Tower of Rufus and Byrne. They must be great friends. You'd imagine, right? And as you adventure along, you come upon a crossroads. You see a place ahead of you that just 800 feet ahead. You see a man on a pike, just standing there on a pike. It's shoved. It's like a telephone pole sized pike. It's not like a quarter-inch round kind of thing. It's a full-on telephone pole shoved inside of him, all the way from one end to his chin. And he's just standing there, kind of twitching, as some sort of a weird piece of street art, not even a sculpture, an actual human being. What do you think about that? What's that make you feel?
Wonder what he did to get that treatment.
Definitely, your first thought.
I go and ask the guards that.
Oh no! That's really far away. I just wanted you to take that in, drink it in, because it's definitely a far away. And as you're thinking that thought, Gundagoot, this man standing on the stoop of his inn, and it definitely looks like his place, is still smoking yet another spliff. He just can't have enough of these things, and he looks over at you and he goes, he punched a woman for failing a charisma save. I mean, don't worry about what that means. That's some meta shit for your ass. But yeah, that guy's something else.
Fair enough.
At least he was.
I
guess he might still be something. I'm Gundagoot. I'm the proprietor of this here establishment. And he holds his hand up, and right above his hand, perfectly framed in your scene, is a sign that says Inn of the Welcome Wench. Looks like a lovely place to hang out, right?
Looks like a place where there might be adventurers who I might be able to work with. So I asked
You're an
him.
Adventurer, huh?
Yes.
You definitely look the part. You're a little short for an adventurer, but I've learned not to judge.
Makes it harder to hit.
You'd be right, but that's 3.5 rules, and I'm being really, really meta here. But yeah, come on inside. You look hungry.
In theory.
In
Maybe
theory.
not technically.
According to 3.5 rules, yeah, halflings are really hard to hit, but they don't care about that shit here in these days, in 5e rule days. And he invites you inside.
I take him up on his offer.
All right. He says the best biscuits and gravy in town.
Yummy.
And
Better than the hardtack I've been having.
Died by this. If you can overdose on spliffs, you would be a dead motherfucker.
Remember, It has more carcinogens than actual cigarettes. That's why everybody vapes now, sir.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I see exactly where you're going with that. I'm just sticking up for the Gundy. And I got a friend that smokes a lot of spliffs, so Gundagoot is my version of him and my version of Gary Gygax. So don't kill my man, man.
Even worse though with the fucking dabs.
Yeah, what's worse with the dabs?
The shit that I put in my lungs.
Oh, is it bad? I thought dabs were pretty good.
It filters out the water, but I mean it's not like vaping with it.
Oh, okay. Gundagoot offers you a seat at this table where there are two other people who have just recently sat down and are just now getting comfortable with each other. Gundagoot had just stepped outside with some uncanny ability to know when people might show up. And Gundagoot introduces you to Leland and Kane. He says, Kane and Leland here, got a new friend for you. I'll bring you some biscuits and gravy and good berry mead. You look like you'd use some. And he steps around the corner.
Thank you.
And where's she at? Why's her name not showing up? My girl. Oh, that's the wrong person. Larissa. Yeah, that's Larissa. Thanks for helping. Larissa shows up with good berry mead and everything else you might want. Biscuits and gravy. And with that, the three of you are welcome to introduce each other. Do we have anybody else to bring into the story? I think we're going to go with those three. Is Ash, are you going to bring a guy in? Or Chris is working on a guy? Hello, Chris? Are you out there?
No, I don't have
Yeah,
to
I'm still here.
one.
I'm sorry. This is my computer.
Yeah. So is your phone working? You're in?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay.
I'm on my laptop.
All right. You have a character you're working on, or you want to bring into this?
Yeah, I just need to finish up his backstory. I mean, like I have it and I know what it is. It's just I don't have it written.
All right. Take your time. Do your thing. I am right now going to put a pause in things. Let's take a moment, guys. I'm going to pause things, stop the recording, and then restart in a minute. But here we go. Stopping.